A three-member Shunglu committee has apparently put Delhi's Aam Aadmi Party government in the dark. Inquiry initiated by the former Delhi LG Najib Jung, and the panel was set up by him, has concluded that the Kejriwal government misused power. That immediately has become a major political talking point, with both the BJP and the Congress party attacking the Aam Aadmi Party government, demanding that Arvind Kejriwal resign, and taking a rather tough line on this entire issue. So we are now being joined by Sambit Patra from the BJP, Ashish Khaitan is with us from the Aam Aadmi Party, Sharmishta Mukherjee joining us from the Congress party. Now, Sharmishta, why don't I start with you, because Ajay Maken came out and said this was an RTI inquiry that he got organized, and you found the details of the Shunglu committee report. Aam Aadmi Party promptly replied by saying for the Congress party to talk about corruption is like Gabbar Singh talking about non-violence.
Well, the Shunglu committee report completely indicates that Aam Aadmi Party has the way they have indulged in blatant nepotism and corruption, that they don't have any way to defend themselves other than blaming it on others, as usual they do. The issue is that, rules had been flouted. Let me just give you, and also the thing that they did not know about it. Give me one classic case of
No, they
Mr.
did not
Gopal
know that
Mohan,
rules were being flouted in that case.
Who was appointed as an advisor.
Yeah. Are you saying rules were flouted and they didn't know that the rules were being flouted?
That, for his appointment, for his appointment, the approval of LG was taken for paying him a salary of ₹1 as honorarium. That time LG's approval was taken. Within 4 months, but suddenly his salary was increased to ₹1,15,000, and with 4 months back pay cleared, and for that no approval of LG was deemed necessary.
All right,
So
Ashish Khaitan,
these people are flouting rules, and also the way they complete lack of transparency in this whole procedure.
We heard you.
Have seen that so many
we heard you,
leaders,
Let me just get Ashish Khaitan in.
Given different kind of benefits.
Yeah, we know what the charges are. We've been hearing them also today. Ashish Khaitan, let me comment to you on that. In a sense, almost stranger, the Aam Aadmi Party, this entire movement came in on the basis of anti-corruption, rose to power on various anti-corruption charges that you were making. Is it a bit like, living by the sword and dying by it on a day like today?
Well, on the face of it, Vikram, when you read the headlines which are in the papers that gross abuse of power, it looks very sensational. But if you just dig a little deeper, then you will find that there is only use of adjectives, and there is much ado about nothing. Because what are the findings? The findings are about the appointments of certain advisors and certain OSDs, which all governments routinely do. When Narendra Modi government was sworn in, they brought in a principal secretary who had retired 15 years ago. An ordinance was passed and he was brought in. A national security advisor who had retired 15 years ago, and he was brought in. These are routine things, but in the case of other governments, like in Bihar or Madhya Pradesh, you will find many retired bureaucrats or private people working in the capacity of advisors, but there is no noise because these are routinely done and there is no dispute about it. But in our case, because LG was disputing and debating and was null and voiding everything that the government was doing, that's how it was a dispute. The crux of the dispute is that LG's approval was not taken, because our reading of the rules was that no such approval was mandated as per the law.
Sambit Patra, he's saying that the headlines may sound terrible, but actually nothing particularly wrong was done. Sambit.
No, that's what they would believe the world to believe, but the world believes otherwise. And in fact, Mr. Ashish Khaitan was absolutely right. The opening statement of the Shunglu committee report is gross misuse of power, gross abuse of power by the Aam Aadmi Party government. And remember, let me at the outset itself state the fact that Mr. Shunglu and the other two committee members, the former CVC and the CEC, all of them are people of impeccable credibility, and they have a fair standing as far as the standing in front of the legal proceedings of India is concerned. So we cannot question Mr. Shunglu and the others in this committee. Number two, let me give you an example. Mr. Ashish Khaitan in fact was oversimplifying the whole process of appointment. Supposedly, Mr. Vikram, you, me or Sharmishta or Ashish Khaitan, we want to apply for a government service. How do we apply? First and foremost, there has to be an advertisement in the newspaper, television or any public media for any kind of government job. Thereafter, there has to be an application from us, an application which is duly signed and attested. And thirdly, we have to have a selection committee, and we have to face an interview in front of a selection committee for being appointed as a class 1 officer in the government. But over here, what do we find, and what does the Shunglu committee enumerate? What Mr. Ashish Khaitan was painting very simplified was that there are instances, for example, the case of Soumya Jain, the daughter of Satyendra Jain, and Nikunj Agarwal, who is brother-in-law of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. For instance, Nikunj Agarwal, doctor, he just applied a handwritten note for a government job. There was no selection committee, there was no interview, and within 4 days of applying, he was picked up as a senior resident and thereafter as a OSD, officer on special duty of the health minister. Mr. Vikram Chandra, how many Aam Admis of this country can get government jobs like this? This is the question.
This is a slightly truncated debate because we had the Nitin Gadkari interview. So I'm just going to get, just enough time, I think, Ashish, to ask you. You had both the Congress and the BJP saying that Arvind Kejriwal should resign because the charges don't look that good. What's going to be your reaction? Of course, the timing is also interesting. You talked about the timing just before the MCD election. This is not necessarily good news for you ahead of the MCD election.
No, I would say that it is rather good news for us, and it's rather good news for the people of Delhi and for the country. There are two Shunglu reports that we have seen in the last few years. One Shunglu report was on CWG Games, which said that there was a scam of 70,000 crore rupees by the Congress government in the name of the organization of games. Now here's a Shunglu committee report which impounded 400 files and went through each and everything that this government did over the last 2 years. And what are their findings? LG's approval was not taken in the appointment of certain OSDs and advisors.
Hinted nepotism. It's a bit more than that. They did say there's a hint of nepotism, other charges
they have chosen. Let them probe. Let them probe. I'm saying look at the progress that this government has made. Not a penny of corruption. Not a penny. Not a bit of charge of financial impropriety. Government works are being done in the most transparent and honest manner. Tenders are done in honest manner. Not unlike CWG, unlike allocation of coal blocks.
Can I have 10 seconds?
We are now out of time. One line each.
People's money is being spent honestly and transparently.
Can I?
Sharmisha, one line more. That's all I have time for. I'm out of time already. I'm over. One line.
Shunglu committee report is Shunglu committee report is full of financial irregularities. But talking about MCD election, let us say that me say that Mr. Kejriwal hypocrisy, because in this very Shunglu committee report we have the evidence that in 2015 Mr. Kejriwal, now he is talking about
we are over now, Sharmisha. Sambit, your one line.
Mr. Kejriwal's government has approved.
Sharmisha, I said one line. Sharmisha, one line. Okay, now, Sambit, your one line.
Levy property taxes in unauthorized colonies.
Already, Sharmisha.
So, isn't it?
We heard you. Sambit, please speak.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to say, as far as the Aam Admi Party is concerned, it is a story from, we do not want anything, we do not want government bungalows, we do not want our people to be drawing the salaries. From there to we will snatch everything illegally, we would snatch and appropriate, in fact, appropriate the government land for our own office, we would snatch government jobs in a way which amounts to nepotism, from rags to riches. This is from demanding that we would not be corrupt to all corrupt at one time.
I keep on hoping for one line, and each time I get a mini speech. So, Ashish, will you please help me out with just one line to end on this? Where do you see this going from here?
His one line should be, we are corrupt.
Yes, what is happening now, both Congress and BJP have joined hands just ahead of the MCD election to tarnish us and malign us from the main issue, which is the corruption in MCD. 10 years of unabated corruption.
Okay, you can see it is going to be continuing for a while, so maybe I'm just going to use that one line to say thank you all so much for watching. That's all we have time
But
for.
they had
Interesting
outdone
finding of the
everyone in
Shunglu
just
Committee
18
report
months of
just
being in
ahead of the
power.
MCD elections. You can expect that particular debate to continue for a period of time, and then we will have to see what the answers to those charges are. That's all we have time for you tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.